Everybody, thanks for watching. Now, I know it's a lot of new people coming to my channel, coming to YouTube and getting into this information. A lot of you guys who are new to my channel who have subscribed. I've been on here for over a decade. I've been putting out videos for a long time, and I was putting out, information on this, long before people started getting paid for it, long before Google bought it, bought YouTube. So my initial, intentions was, as I talk about, to really put out videos for my study group when I was in law school. And I didn't expect other people to watch, but people start watching, and it is what it is today. But I know there's a lot of new people, and you guys are not used to the DVDs that I put out and all the information I was putting out. And it's a reason for that, because a lot of the information that are in those DVDs I can't put on YouTube, because before, I was blocked, or I was censored. I couldn't post because some things are outside of our control, and we have to deal with censorship. So that's what the DVDs are for. Now, I charge what I charge for them right now, $8.99 for, the first 3 days. Then after that, it's like $20. And that's because the time it takes for me to put into this, this work. My videos are lectures. They are, presentations. I put the stuff together. It takes time because it has to mean something. It's a point to it all. And in the beginning, we started out with Saturn Satan series, and it kept going up to where it is now. And all this stuff is like a storybook. It's a lot of information that all goes together, leading up to where we are today. And I know I'm just like everybody else. I don't like commercials. I don't like ads when I'm trying to see something. But, if you go onto a website for used cars, you should expect somebody to try to sell you a used car. So if you come in here for information, the information is here, and you are welcome to it, and it's here. But I think it's really disrespectful for people to put in the comment section, skip to 5 minutes and skip past what I'm trying to put out for people who was actually looking for it. Not saying that they're not going to see it themselves. I'm just saying it's crazy. I don't know when it became cool for people to try to, mess with somebody's livelihood, what they do, what they love to do. I wouldn't come to anybody's job. I don't care if you're Christian or what have you. I wouldn't come and tell you can't make the money that you're making, or you don't deserve the money that you're making when you put in the work that you put in. I mean, that's just crazy. So I expect the people who come to this channel to be conscious people, or, trolls, or crazy, religious people, what have you. It is what it is. Either way, I expect most people to be black and to understand what we do and what we go through. You got people out here that's really struggling. You got people out here doing what they can, selling dinners, recipes, what have you, whatever they can do to feed their family. Nobody should get in the way of anybody trying to feed their family, no matter what they're doing, as long as what they're doing is not killing nobody or stealing from somebody else or what have you. So, that being said, I appreciate everybody who comes here and views the videos, and everybody who supports. But if I see it in the comment section, I'm banning that person. So, be respectful. We debate in the comment section. We talk shit in the comment section. But at the end of the day, like, it's respect. We can have a mutual disagreement. Like I said, put the videos out for people who want them, and the people who want them buy them. And it's a mutual respect thing. And I appreciate everybody who supports. So wanted to get that out the way for the new people, and apologize for taking up time. I really don't like to do it. But yeah, just a quick reminder. We have Zodiac Body is now available, as well as Greek Mythology 4. And you can get Greek Mythology 1 through 4, and I'm throwing it on sale, as well as The Powers That Came to Be in 2022. These are all out. So right now, as I said, the first 3 days when I put out a new video, it will only be $8.99. So for the first 3 days, it's only $8.99. Make sure you guys take advantage. And again, apologize for this being long. But let's get into the video. So now, talked about before about information, how you go and do research. If you really care about what you talk about, then you should care about how you get your information, because you don't want to be left looking stupid, which is what happens to a lot of people. So some people, we call them trolls. Their life suck. they get a kick out of making somebody look bad to make themselves feel good, whatever it may be. Some people will jump on Google and post what they see that is biased information that fits what they wanted to say. So if you're going to do actual research, you need to be really unbiased and look at multiple sources and look at a whole collection of sources and make sure that they're agreeing on what you're trying to research. Because if you don't, somebody's going to come along and spank you and put the truth in your face, and you're going to have to deal with that. So when it comes to sources, primary sources, and then us debating this whole religion thing, you got to understand there is absolutely no concrete 100% proven proof that backs the Bible. It's a fact. Everything is always left up to speculation, and it's always, thought to have been. We have so many new stories coming out. I talked about this before, about all the forgeries and fakes that have been found throughout the world in museums and what have you. So recently they talked about the Dead Sea Scrolls. So in every museum that has a Dead Sea Scroll, it's a forgery. It's a fake. So that's been coming out. They've been, locking down on so many different forgery rings that exist in Israel, exist, throughout the world. And it's one of the things that you can fake because you're talking about something that really can't be authenticated because we don't have nothing to really compare it to. It's just if you can get the researchers and scientists to take the money to say that it is what you think it is, there you go. So when you look at these things, proven to be false, fake, forgeries, what have you, in all of these cases, you had scientists, you had researchers, you had universities, you had all these people take money to say something is what it ain't. So they basically all took money to say a religious artifact is real when it's not. So you have to understand that and then think about what's out there, who's controlling what's out there. What we see and the information we get coming in from Israel conflicted. On the one hand, as you can read this article here, you'll have a scholar from Israel, and from their main paper, the Haaretz, tell you, hey, the Exodus never happened, or we can't find anything that proves this story in the Bible. So you'll have Jews on the one hand tell you it's bullshit, and then on the other hand say, oh, we found this. And then you have to understand everything that entails when an artifact is found. There's people that have to come and do tests. And when you want to have something completely 100%, authenticated, it is put out there to scrutiny. And that's if the people who are making the claims allow you to have it. So let's just be real. It's not too many independent researchers that got the money to let alone go fly over there to the Middle East, to Israel, Egypt, or what have you, get the artifact, bring it back with, escorts, and you got to get approval. You got to pay for so much. Who has the time, the money to do all that to just figure out if an artifact is real or not? Not too many people who do it, who do. So you'll have some groups that have money and they'll do independent studies, or that's what they do. They get paid to go do independent studies on artifacts and just, they're kind of like the internal affairs of artifacts. And they go out and they do these, these research studies. But at the end of the day, who's paying? What's the motive behind it? What does it all mean? Is it going to be national news, global news? So as you can see, a lot of those things I just showed you, you see them online. Average person is not looking online for this stuff. The mass public is not looking online to find out if some, shard that belongs to such and such Jewish person or what have you is actually real or not. Well, they never heard about it in the first place. People just assume stuff is what TV says or what these scientists say. They don't even contemplate that it could be forged or fake and the reasons behind it. So it's things we have to take into consideration when you're doing actual research, to not be biased, to look at all the sources and to make sure you're reading correctly. Because even though you'll have stuff that say scientists determined this, you'll have some other scientists say we don't agree with it. So this is the case with the Silver Scrolls that was found. If you guys remember, Silver Scrolls was found in Israel that supposedly contain, verse from Numbers. They were found basically in, it's a place where they basically threw the trash at. The Byzantine Empire was there for a while. they used the tomb, to store their guns, and they found it amongst trash, you know, stuff dating from the 8th century BCE and, all the way to the 3rd century BCE. So it was tough for them to tell, what time frame it came from. Now, I understand they sat on this thing for years. I think it took them like 3 to 7 years to just unravel these little silver scrolls, this amulets fit around your neck. 3 to 7 years to just unravel it and then give us a date. So think about that. So one date was given for 8th century BCE. Two other researchers said, no, we don't think it's that old because it was next to some artifacts that they, from the 3rd to 4th century BCE. So that makes more sense. And then they took it to another university outside of these people's control or in view and said, oh, no, we're going to date it to the 6th century. And that's what they came up with in the end, the 6th century BCE. So what is the problem? The problem is this. We can't find anything concrete on the biblical Jews, period. There is no concrete anything on the Jews before the 4th century BCE. Everything is suspect. It's always a shard, a piece of pottery, a fragment, something small, nothing consistent with every other civilization we found on the face of the earth. You go into Africa, you're going to find African artifacts that we can say these people exist and these people was here and other civilizations around them spoke about them. You can do that with the Greeks. You can do that with the Romans. You can do that with all the Asians. You can do that with Native Americans. You can do that with South America. You can do that with every people on the planet except for the biblical Jews. Nobody spoke about them outside the Bible. Nothing outside the Bible. It's like they didn't exist. So it's this, frantic, crazy race to prove these people existed that really started once religion started to be, more popularized and spread. People had questions. And it was like, why can't we find these people before this certain time? And that certain time would be when the Greeks took control, which would be in the 4th century BCE. And this is when we get everything else, Hellenization, which would be the spreading of this, as I'll talk about, and the rise of the European powers and everything that took place. And it's like as if these people came out of nowhere. So talked about the Septuagint, written in Greek. We know the New Testament, written in Greek. And everything that we get pertaining to this biblical, history is coming through Greeks. Talked about Hecataeus. And you have one of the MOs that they use. So Hecataeus of Abdera is a perfect example. So they'll do stuff like this. They'll say, well, we can't really find stuff on the Jews from this certain time period. But Hecataeus, who is a prominent historian, traveled the world and found information on a lot of people. And he says that the ancient Egyptians told him about the Jews. This is around the 6th century BCE. So it's giving you like an unsure answer